People, thank you. We are here. We are back. We are live. And my name is Mac. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this probably 145 times. This one right here is the most sentiment behind it. Welcome to another episode of the No Podcast Pyro. We've been out for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. They've been asking where we at. The streets want to know where we at. It's my fault. I'll take the blame for it. But we back. Sun's out, guns out. We playing stick 'em up. My name is Total Mac, aka Six Layer, aka TBD Mac, aka Metro Mac. In the building, as always, we know you missed him. Swervy Lee, aka SVS Swerve, aka Swervy Atmos, aka Swollen Pal, FKA Yoko Tuna, aka Young 85-inch for the living room, Young 75-inch for the bedroom, aka Young 65-inch for the spare room. What's good, big dog?
And Young, never mind, I ain't gonna say that last one. That was gonna be too much for the podcast.
We might have some listeners that might want to take you up on that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That last one, that was gonna be too much.
You know what I mean? Hit him on the DMs, man.
You know where it was going.
Listen, man, I already know what that run looked like. Pause. How goes it, man?
The streets was just going crazy asking where we was. I was like, yo, I don't even know if we got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. I gotta check the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the crew still the crew? You know, that's what they was hitting me with all month. I said, let me go see what's going on, man.
They say, yo, man, not another Rory and Maul situation, man. Come on, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I ain't want to have to, charge y'all $2. I ain't want to have to do that.
You know what I'm saying? You know that one couple in the hood that is in like a bad neighborhood. They ready to move. You got to move out at night, but you don't even know they moving. Like, damn, where the fuck they go? That's what kind of was happening, but we still here. Also joining us, the anchor, the Don, the man who been hitting me saying, Mac, where the fuck you been at? Man who been annoying the hell out of me. Mac, where you at? Mac, what you doing? Mac, what's going on? Hey, are we doing this? What are we doing? Where you at? Are you gonna come on? What's going on? Hey, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock? My man, No Chill Drew, aka EGB. That means everybody gets buried, aka Young, formerly known as the Applebee's Don, aka Young OG, aka motherfucker, you better have a can with you. If not, I'm turning it off.
Oof.
Oh my God, click.
That don't sound good.
Well, let me just clear the air on something right now.
Talk to him.
The reason I'm blowing this dude up, earliest morning, not the earliest morning, but like mid-afternoon. Hey, what's the earliest you guys can do the pod? Swerve responds, 5. All right. Of course, like clockwork, no response from me. So I assume, because there was an answer, that we're all on board. 5 o'clock comes. I'm on the pod. Swerve's on the pod. But like Bigfoot, where the fuck is Mac? You can't get pictures of him. You can't get video of him. All you hear is some random, toothless villager going, I've seen Mac once or twice. But forget about it. So we have to blow him up. We have to blow him up like we're a debt collector. Mac, where are you? Mac, you said you have the money. Mac, you said that we'd have this. Mac, where's it at? Where is it at, Mac? Some guys are coming. Finally, after about the 7th attempt, you finally come on, and you're like, oh, it's guys, it's a nice day out. It's It's a nice day out. Motherfucker,
No.
you gotta play Warzone. Get the fuck out of here.
First off, don't ever accuse me of playing that fucking game, because I don't. I am a Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War only.
Oh, Call of Duty's Call of Duty. Call of Duty
Listen.
is Call of Duty.
Number two, which really should be number one to me. If you ain't getting back, nah, I was not outside enjoying the weather. I was taking care of my biz naive. As my man Little Scrappy would say. It is nice outside though. It do make you want to pull a Yui when you about to go take care of something, but you just want to be outside and be a hoe. I can't be a hoe, so here I am.
Well, you're the one who's sitting there going, guys, nice day out.
I can't say that?
It's a nice day out, guys. Oh, no, you can say it, but not when you're clearly indicating, hey, let's wrap this up. What's the tiz on?
I wasn't rushing you, man. We were talking shit in the pre-board.
I haven't watched anything, quote unquote.
In the pre-board for like 20 minutes we was talking. I'm here, man.
I'm fucking with you.
After we get done, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, go take care of something else. Brought to you by Cetaphil.
Oh, are you trying to end up like Who Up now?
Well, no, you know what Cetaphil is, right?
Yeah.
It's a sensitive lotion.
Oh. I thought it was something to get your Jimmy up.
Oh, well, damn. Okay, now let's a lot to unpack.
No, I'm not saying he needs it.
You gotta respond to these claims, man.
I'm not saying he needs it.
No, are you?
I'm saying he uses it a lot. And he doesn't use a safety. So, I was assuming that's the business that you're trying to do. Is, well, hey, you know what? There's a family tax credit going down. People are going to be getting about $500 a month for having a kid. Hey, we need to get in on this.
Wait a minute. How long is this going to go on for?
Fucking knows, but I saw it on...
there was no end date.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Drew, you know I ain't never asked you for nothing, man, but I might have to start claiming. What?
Oh, I should have let you finish that.
Yeah, you should have. Motherfucker, how much have you really missed me, man? I just want to know.
Not
that much? Hey, man, I am not doing that. Hey, what?
I missed you, but not that much.
I just said let me claim you on my taxes, man. That's all. I mean, 500 ain't really a lot.
Going to All Country Buffet, I was under 12 until I clearly was not.
Oh my goodness. Well, fellas, I ain't gonna lie, it is good to be here. We are back. Uwab Jeff, you got until next Tuesday to respond to these claims that your boy Uwab No Chill Drew are making. Mouth.
I just told you he doesn't need that, but he does use the Jimmy a lot.
You told me that he needs some shit to get it up. That's what you said.
No, I said that. I thought you were using that. I'm like, oh, so that's your business that you're doing.
Oh no, man! I'm just saying you got the man ass whooped. Now you didn't told the whole world.
Man got
told the whole world that he needed to use an elixir to make things happen.
Look, I didn't get the man's ass whooped. You guys don't have to. I just chose not to purchase the same subscription.
Got you. All right. Before we get to wrestling, I know we normally have our banter. Is there anything that anyone wants to say while we've been out? I'm trying to think of something because I'm just freestyling right now.
God damn! I finally upgraded my TV and PlayStation. I couldn't even bring it up on air because you haven't been around.
Oh shit! Breaking news. Let's hear it.
So, finally got the PS5. I had to settle for the bundle.
Okay, I do remember you talking about this. I remember that.
Had to get it from GameStop. FedEx took for fucking ever to get there. but I got that, and then I also upgraded the TV.
All right, can we play a game?
Yeah.
Swervy, are you ready? It'll be between me and Swerve. You ready?
Who the fuck else is here?
Go ahead.
The name of this game is called Guess That Brand. I will guess the brand of TV that you went with.
Okay.
I'm gonna step out on the ledge, and I'm going to say you chose Samsung.
Oh, listen, maybe if I got that UOP tax money, that four kids stimmy.
You don't got
I would've
2K
gone
coming in a month?
for a Samsung, but I
Like
got a
2000?
single independent stimmy.
All right, Swerve, you up next?
That was not a Samsung friendly stimmy.
Oh damn!
I'll say TCL.
You know what? You were close. I almost got the TCL.
All right, final guess here for timing purposes. What I really think it is, I think you got a Vizio.
No,
Oh,
I kept the same brand that I had last time.
which one?
Element.
Right up your alley.
Was
That would have
supposed-
been like my eighth guess.
So I was gonna get the 55, but the way Target had them set up, because originally I went to Best Buy. Best Buy was fucking awful because they didn't have any of their TVs like out to just like grab and take up. Like you had to get a sales associate. But I showed up with a hoodie and sweatpants on, so obviously nobody took my ass seriously, and nobody was coming up to me.
This is at Best Buy?
Yeah.
Which one did you go to?
The one in the mall. The only one that's open, really.
The Galleria Mall?
Yeah.
Well, there's your problem.
I mean, Transit's closed. I'm not going all the way out to McKinley.
You could have went on the Boulevard, man.
That's the one I'm at. I'm not going all the way out to the Boulevard.
Well, you had to go, and then you had to mention our name.
So I went up to Target, right? Now I was going to get 55, right? But the way that they had the boxes set up, they had the 40, the 55, and the 65 all stacked together, so you could clearly see the difference in the box.
Oh shit, Braun Strowman.
When they did that, I went, the senior discount at Denny's is nice, but I want the full-on retirement.
Uh-oh.
So I went for the 65.
Oh, all right.
And I grossly misunderestimated the size of this fucking TV when it came time to getting it in the vehicle. Because I'm like, oh, I'll just put the seat down a little bit. I have some, shit on the back seat, but that's fine. I'll just, push the seat down a little bit. I remember when I got my old TV, it didn't really take up that much space. It's gonna be fine. We get out there. I look at the hatchback. I look at this TV. I go, what did I get myself into? We barely get this motherfucker in the car.
Well, now you know your limit.
Yeah.
You thought you was getting the TV in raw?
But this thing is fantastic. I'm so happy I sprung for the 65. And the bundle, which was way more money than I thought I'd spend on the PS5.
You kept your old system? You traded it in?
Oh, I still have it. Because I bought it online, so there's really no point in trading in. What GameStop's got to give me like $4 for it? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you got more than that, but
What about you guys?
nothing here. I just been looking at houses.
Oh.
seeing
Sorry
really
about that, guys.
grotesque photos of the inside of a house.
It is a rough time to buy a house right now. That's for sure. It is a buyer's market.
Seller's market, bro.
I'm sorry, seller's market. See, that was a trick. That was just to make sure you were still on.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, that was my wife. She was asking me if I wanted to go out to an outdoor thing. I said I can't. I'm busy. So, to your little story earlier about me wanting to do something nice outside, there goes that claim. No chill. We're wrong about that.
Well, hey, at least they're still after the podcast where you could try to get that $500 per month tax credit afterwards.
Is that in the calendar year 2021? Because if not, we're screwed.
There's no limit, dude. It's every month from here on out.
Damn. I have to go down, call for work, go to the adoption agency tomorrow.
Just create your own wrestler.
I might have to.
You know what the problem is, though? His wife's not injuring other wrestlers, so he can't perform without knowing that she's clumsy and injuring other wrestlers. If it ain't Nia, I can't.
Nia Jax is a bum. And I don't know how many times I have to tell you this.
This dude is bipolar for Nia Jax.
Yo, I've been off of Nia Jax.
Every week it goes from Nia Jax is a bum to, hey, you leave Bay alone.
Listen, man. Nia Jax has been off of my mind for like 3 months. I don't understand why you keep trying to pin me on her, or her on me. You don't see me sitting here talking about your love crush, do you? Exactly. You need to apologize for 2004.
What?
You don't know who Ruben Studdard is? I know you do. Exactly. I have picked up an affliction whenever I'm at home just chilling.
Yeah, I had that shirt too.
Say it again.
I had those shirts too.
Okay. I've been watching car crash videos.
So you do watch Nia Jax videos in your spare time?
You know what?
So you
I hope she hears this. And I hope one day you could just be walking down Main Street. She just body slams the shit out of you.
Funny
Straight
thing is,
pavement.
She would trying to just turn the other cheek and just not do anything. But her instincts are just a botch in her, man.
Hey, look, if it was Lacey Evans, you see this shit coming. Boston Crab. Clothesline.
Sneak attack.
Shooting star press. Schoolboy. That motherfucker, she's $500 richer. Can you believe that?
Oh shit.
She's having a kid this year.
Yeah.
There has to be a wage limit. I don't think she qualifies.
Well,
I don't know. They have been known to pay their female talent pretty poorly.
All right. So we have been off the air for a while. We have a lot to get to. Let's go ahead and get to it today, right now. Drew, did you want to start things off with some AEW? No,
Yeah.
You know what? Screw that. Let's start somewhere else. We have to start somewhere else. Two things. First and very foremost, we want to send our deepest condolences to the family of New Jack. Drew, I will let you take it away.
So I have anything pulled up.
This is your time, man. That's why I backed up.
Jesus. Yeah, so unfortunately, New Jack passed away this past week. You know, first you take DMX, then you take New Jack. I don't know who's left. New Jack, from what I've heard, most people said that he was a really nice guy as far as like his peers. Be hard pressed to find anyone who actually knew him who disliked him. As hard as that is to believe, besides his kids. Unfortunately, he did pass away from a heart attack. Greatest hits of New Jack, obviously the mass transit incident. Would not be the last time he stabs an opponent. He did try to kill Johnny Grunge, but who doesn't? He tried to be an actor at one point. Very critical Paul Heyman, very critical Vince McMahon, very critical Chris Benoit, and very critical of the Hall of Fame in all. So, I mean, dude's not going to hold back. He never did. And a lot of the stuff he would say resonated because he was really speaking the truth. I will say he was one of the first wrestlers that I was actually like legitimately scared of as a kid. Because like I just remember seeing that Inside Edition of the mass transit incident going, oh, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that guy. But his matches were always like fantastic. Not because they were like, technical, but because he was always jumping off of shit. The OG Shane McMahon. Not really big as far as titles go. He did hold the ECW tag titles 3 times. He held the Smoky Mountain tag team championships once, and the USWA tag team championship once. Other than that, I mean, he's never really been a singles championship guy. You guys got anything else for him?
I got nothing for New Jack.
Yeah, I saw what Paul Heyman said about him. That was nice of him to do that, given their history. I wanted to ask because there's got to be some sort of Hall of Fame that New Jack has to be put in. Yes, now to be a posthumous induction, but is there room for ECW guys, and I mean the true ECW guys, to be in the Hall of Fame? And if so, where are you putting New Jack as far as who should be inducted first?
So, if anything, you know how the Hall of Fame has their little legacy thing that they do, where it's like they have the Hall of Fame inductees, and then they have the legacy wing, which is where they'll throw like 5 people in that, just be like, oh, by the way, the legacy people for this year are, and they rattle off names of basically ones that they don't want to give a speech to, and they don't want to really have the whole induction ceremony, but they just honor. I can see New Jack in there. I know that there's an actual Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame that's separate from WWE. I can see him going into that. But I mean, as far as WWE's Hall of Fame, that's the only way I see that happening. Shit, I don't even know who would induct him. Maybe Jazz. I know that they were good friends. He talked about the one time that he slipped her crack while she was sleeping. As friends do.
Well, yeah, of course. So yes, rest in peace to New Jack. You will forever be a one of one. There will never be another New Jack ever. I'm confident and comfortable with saying that ever.
Empty a clip of staples from your staple gun for your dead homie.
Dude, he was 8 balled up and would tell you he was.
Yeah, he was not ashamed to be like, hey, by the way, this match, I'm going to be on crack.
And let's make these people happy.
Yeah, I mean, or terrify them. Either way, I might stab you. Who knows?
Right. I forgot what number 2 was going to be. I forgot. It was something I wanted to bring up. Damn, I forgot. Okay. It'll come back to me. But yeah, let's go ahead and just if you guys just want to recap what's been happening with AEW, I know we have in 2 weeks. Is it Double or Nothing?
Yes. End of May 30th, which is a Saturday.
Second annual. This is the second one, right?
I believe it might be the third.
Already?
No, it is the second. You're right, the second.
Okay, I'm about to say. All right, Drew. Floor is lawful now. I mean, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead.
All right. So, Dynamite. We start off with the IWGP United States Championship on the line. As Jon Moxley defends a title he does not defend regularly against Get Your Nitro Girls Out, Yuji Nagata. Last time he was on TNT, Eric Bischoff was around. Moxley did end up defeating Nagata. Very physical match. Apparently Moxley's new entrance is Wild Thing, like that song. So yeah. The
one that goes, "You Make My Heart Sing," that song.
Yep.
They use that?
Yeah.
With permission?
I think that they use like a different version, like a cover. Kind of like WCW did back in the day. It's not Smells Like Teen Spirit.
WCW so bad. Ugh. You know what AEW is masquerading as? AEW masquerades as a new gimmick from a wrestler that debuted as something garbage. It's like, oh, Marvelous Mark, Undertaker, and that's what AEW is now. But it's not bad. I will say it's not bad. But I'm a month behind though. But continue, Drew. I'm sorry.
So then we have Cody come out. 1 week after defeating QT Marshall in a match that was, obviously he was going to win. He has a special announcement for his plans for Double or Nothing. He, for some reason, referenced political parties. Went on a random disjointed rant about America and patriotism, and reminded Anthony Ogogo, who is a member of QT Marshall's group, that he didn't leave his home country to chase the UK dream. So apparently, we are above WWE, but let's rope it back in. We have a foreign evil foreigner. An evil foreigner. You fucking get it. God damn it. At Double or Nothing, he will battle this evil foreigner, Anthony Ogogo, but not as the American Nightmare. Instead, he's coming full circle. He wants to be his dad so bad.
Dream.
He will be the American Dream.
Dream. And I brought you all my dream.
This promo sucked dick. Can we just stress that? Cody is the fucking worst thing about it.
I'm sorry, is JC Taylor in the chat?
I cannot wait till they go back to full fucking crowds, so this motherfucker can get booed out of the arena every fucking week.
What is he
Because I
doing?
cannot be the only one who's just so fucking sick and tired of his shit.
So wait, so who's in the back approving this shit? Or is it just
Him
saying, I'm the man, I do what I want?
I mean, I'm guessing so.
So the Jacksons are yes men, is what you're saying.
No, I'm assuming they're just like, you know what? Just fucking let him do it. Just let him go. I'm assuming that that's the best way to deal with Cody is just let him do his little thing.
Great. So we have in one corner Vince McMahon, who will not let you play with his toys. And then in the other corner, we have Cody Rhodes, who will, if you let him play with his toys by himself, he's just better off that way.
You know who Cody Rhodes is? Cody Rhodes is the kid who invited you over to play the X-Men video game, but he always got to be Wolverine.
Oh, not that kid. Group of 4, he's always picking the most favorite person to play with on the game.
I only get to play as the people who have powers. You get to be Jubilee.
No, I'm Superman. No, I'm Superman. No.
I'll let you be Nightcrawler because he's garbage in the video game.
Listen, Nightcrawler gets a bad rap, man.
Yeah, I mean, in the video game, he was garbage, though.
I grew up hating Scorpion and Ryu for those very reasons.
Dudes, the overwhelming favorites. For why? I mean, I get it, but there's a lot of other fatalities and a lot of other. For every Ryu, there's a Ken. Put that out there. I'll say that.
So next up, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. SCU taking on the Young Bucks. If SCU loses, they have to break up. This match was bloody as fuck. But at the end of the match, Young Bucks did come out with the win. After the match, cameras cut to the backstage area where Moxley and Eddie Kingston were tearing up the Elite's locker room. But I'm not going to take away from the fact that this was a fantastic match. SCU's last match as a tag team. I can definitely see Christopher Daniels going to just a backstage role now, as he is pretty much talent relations and wrestler. So he's probably just going to move to that role. I think it was great. I don't know if you guys saw it or anything, but yeah, I thought it was great. Next match. What's that?
It was a decent match. I mean, it's just there was just no ounce of care in me about them splitting up, though. But it was a good match.
So then we have a match that I have an issue with. And that is the world title eliminator match. Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Here's what I have a problem with. At the previous Dynamite, the Blood and Guts, Kenny and Michael Nakazawa took on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley in a tag match. Moxley and Eddie Kingston got the win, which means they defeated, technically, Kenny Omega in a non-title match. Yet here we are, Orange Cassidy, who, you know, I can't remember the last win he's had in a singles match, taking on Orange Cassidy, who I can't remember the last time he wrestled on Dynamite, for number one contendership at Double or Nothing. Whatever. Match was.
Do you have a problem? You have a problem with the rankings?
I walked into that one. But yeah, I guess I do. I guess it kind of feels like college basketball rankings, where it's like you could have a team from the MAC that's been undefeated for 2 years, and they'll have like the 16th seed in a conference because, you know, Gonzaga had 3 losses, but they're fucking Gonzaga. Like, yo, this is fucking shit. Like, I get that, you know, Orange Cassidy was having wins on Dark and shit, but at the same time, like, we gotta fucking stop treating Dark like people give a fuck. And I get why they're doing it because, you know, rumor out, they're looking to get into the streaming business as well.
You know, the other concern I have with those rankings and things like that, which I'm not going to spoil because you're going to get to it, but whoever has 10 wins or whatever the number of wins that is required, how do you decide who gets to go for what belt?
I think it's more or less, you know, dealer's choice type of thing. Like, I almost feel like it's something where you have to go for the TNT Championship first, and even if you don't win, at least you went for it. Because I think both of these guys have at least went for that belt at least once.
Pac and Orange Cassidy have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I was gonna say real quick, not to switch topics, but did you guys hear that new Sean Paul song?
What?
It's called Drew Seeing the Light.
You want to see yourself out? I'll let you log out.
Drew, let's talk. How do we get here?
Look, I think that when we're talking about the rankings, we definitely need to break up the world title and the TNT Championship as far as rankings go. Because it doesn't make sense. Like what Swervey says, if you're number 1 ranked, how do you determine which title you go for? There needs to be divisions.
Like, if you go for the TNT Championship, does that exhaust or does that remove you from the World Championship?
What they should do is have, you know, once you get to, let's say, 10 wins, you go for the TNT Championship. Once you get more than 10 wins, you now qualify for the world title rankings.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that is you could become overqualified for TNT but not qualify for the world. Do you remember the one of the old WWE wrestling games? I forget which one it was, but they had the power rankings on there.
SmackDown.
And
they got it on 2K20.
Maybe it's not power rankings, but anyway, when you have your championships, you could have the same guy could be at the top for the IC title as well as the heavyweight title, like number 1 contender for both. And it's like, where do you put them?
That's a good point. I mean, do you have guys declare what championship they're going for, and are they doing it by saying, by the end of August, I'm gonna either have enough matches to compete for the TNT, or I'm gonna have enough matches to compete for the World Championship? I mean, that'll be hard to divide up.
Right.
That's why I think things are murky as they stand right now. Because, I mean, if you're a Pac, for instance, I mean, you got the triple threat coming up, but if you lose, can't you just be like, hey, I'm not going to do the TNT Championships door. What's up? I'm here. I got enough. Right? Like, I'm eligible.
Yeah, and on the game, the solution was you could just take that person out of contention for the IC title if you didn't want them chasing it. But if they got too low, you can put them back on there, and they would be, you know, number 3 or something like that. Not saying they could do that here, or unless they, you know, verbalize it somehow. But
well, see, the weird thing is in writing when it comes to wrestling, right? Let's say you're in a fatal 4-way match for the AEW Championship, and in your heart of hearts, you know, just by ranking the wrestlers in the match, who's number 4. You know, like, they've earned their keep, but they're not going to win the match. Can't you just write them into a scenario where they could compete for the TNT Championship and not be mad that yes, they did have that match, but then also now they can compete for this championship, and it seems more fitting for that.
So,
I
in
mean, just,
theory, sorry.
no, go ahead. I was gonna say, let's look what they did with Sheamus.
So, in theory, the
Yeah.
rankings worked good when there was only the world title, the women's championship, and the tag belts.
Mm-hmm.
Once you include the TNT championship, things got muddled. And I feel like the TNT championship should be something that's separate from the rankings. Something where, let's say, you're somebody who's coming up. You're not, a Kenny Omega. You're not a John Moxley, but you're somebody who's a mid-card guy who's making real strides.
Miro.
Beyond ranking, that's who should be getting the TNT championships as a, hey, this will, give you that boost of, what, you get that elevation a little bit. You get that little bit of a kickstart. What the Intercontinental Championship was for a long time. It wasn't guys win the IC title 8 times. It was you won it once and then you went on to the world title program. That's kind of how it always was.
How about you have? So okay, so what about this? What if they do 3 different rankings, right? So what if you have your overall record, win-loss, but within that you have a record for the TNT Championship, meaning you have to fight guys within the division. So let's say you have, I don't know, you have who's the champion? What's his face? Starts with a D. I can't think of his name.
Darby.
Who?
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. So let's say you have Darby Allin. Let's say he's not the champion right now. Let's say it's somebody else. Well, let's say Darby Allin and Miro are going at it, and their overall record each is like 27-10. But within that that TNT Championship division, they're both like 5-3. But then let's say Darby Allin, who is fighting against Pac or John Moxley in the heavyweight division, he's now fighting with one of those guys, and each of them are 6-4. Like, can't you do something like that?
Here's what I would do. I would honestly have this title be for people who are in that 5th or 6th ranking. 4th, 5th, and 6th ranking. 1, 2, and 3 should be world title rankings. 4th and under should be TNT rankings.
But that what's the word I'm looking for here? It eliminates it eliminates yourself from being able to have like, if they ever want to, a 6-man multi-match for the championship.
Not necessarily, because you can easily sit there and say, okay, 4th, 5th, and 6th, you can be in this multi-man match. Because that's what we're doing. But as far as TNT rankings, number 1, 2, and 3 should not be focused on the TNT Championship. 4, 5, and 6 are obviously going to be focused on both. You want to get the TNT Championship just because, it's a title. But your main focus is always the world belt. That's always the main focus. Now,
go ahead, Drew. Go ahead.
Now, if you lose the belt, if you lose the TNT Championship, I say you take that ranking of whoever won it. So let's say the number 5 guy defeats Darby Allin. Darby Allin takes 5th seed in the rankings. And the TNT champion obviously wouldn't be ranked because he's a champion. I believe that's a way to do it so that the champion just doesn't, drop out of the rankings, but he's still like, hey, now I can still try to go for that world title eventually because I'm in 5th. I'm in a prime position to just move up a couple spots.
Yeah, but isn't that playing, what's that game with the chairs?
Musical chairs? I mean, that's basically what pro wrestling is.
I mean, but still, there's no 8-minute or a 10-minute song when you're playing musical chairs before they pause the music. Like that's the lengthy reign. And I think you need that. I don't want to have a 30-second stop and then you pause it. Like I don't want a short reign every 3 months, every 3 weeks. That's not.
Yeah, but you don't have to have it every 3 weeks. You can have somebody hold on to the TNT Championship for a long time. So, and then once they lose it, they just take that person's ranking.
So if number 3 is in the match with Darby and number 3 loses, he stays at number 3?
If number 3 loses, he would obviously drop because he lost his title match.
Okay, so how would he drop if he's like 3 matches ahead of number 4?
I mean, obviously, if he's 3 matches ahead of number 4, he wouldn't drop. But let's say you have somebody who's in number 3, who's only got like less than a match ahead.
How do you ever come up? You put number 3 on a losing streak? You say, wow, ever since that Darby Allin match, he's not able to win anything.
It's happened before where guys, they go for a belt, they lose, and then they just go on a losing streak because it fucks with their head.
That's dangerous, man. That is dangerous.
Or you just keep them off TV a little bit so number 4 can win 3 matches and leapfrogs him without him losing anything.
I don't know if I agree with the champion losing to number 5 spot and taking the spot if he's been on a tear for like a year. I mean, granted, you shouldn't lose to the number 5 ranked guy, but if they write it that way, then it has to be that way. But you should probably get a rematch.
I mean, you might get a rematch, but I do like that AEW doesn't do the rematches too often because it seems like WWE, everyone gets a rematch. It's the only one that I've seen get a rematch recently was Moxley.
It's kind of hard to break up that concept as an institution, though, Drew, that's been going on for so long.
Well, it's an institution in that company.
I just think
just recently started doing it.
AEW is going to get in a lot of trouble if it's going to get in its own way. And they've got to do something to clear this ranking shit up. They have to.
Well, not lingering too much on this match. Omega got involved and eventually laid out both guys. When the referee came to, he counted a double count out. So both guys ended up getting counted out, and Omega just assumed he was going to have the night off. But instead, Tony Schiavone emerged like a thief in the night to let Omega know that his match at Double or Nothing will be a triple threat match. Pac, Orange Cassidy, and Kenny Omega.
First ever, right?
For the world title, I believe.
Now, why do you think this was done?
I think it was done. First and foremost, you knew that Orange Cassidy was going to be in it from the promo that happened at Blood and Guts. Their promo, him and Kenny. You weren't going to do that promo and have him lose.
I wish Abby was on the show because he was so sure that Pac was supposed to do it.
And Pac, I just assume that I don't know if they're too confident in having a main event with Kenny and Orange Cassidy by themselves. So they want Pac in there as well. I don't know who's going to win this. But I'm excited to watch.
It's a triple threat match. Kenny Omega's going to walk out with it.
You never know. Shenanigans can ensue. Orange Cassidy has his people. Pac has his people.
Yeah. I have a question. And this may be off topic, but Rich Swann, does he have any leg to stand on in the AEW circle because of what happened with him on Impact and him losing the championship?
So he's an Impact guy. Now, I don't know if he will show up in AEW at some point to, get some vengeance. But as of right now, part of this whole AEW Impact thing, which, by the way, has not benefited Impact whatsoever. The only people who have been benefited have been AEW.
And Don Callis.
Nothing says this has gone horribly wrong for Impact like Mike Nakazawa coming out with the Impact World title.
What?
That's not good.
Wait, the same championship that Kenny Omega holds?
Yeah, because they did a thing where he came out with all of his titles that he holds. And obviously he's not going to come out holding all of them. So he has Nakazawa carrying 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't think this is helping anybody.
So right now, Omega has AEW World Title, the AAA Super Belt, the Impact World Championship, and the TNA World Championship.
Especially not Kenny Omega. You know what this reminds me of? It feels the same way when I used to look at him come to the ring. Ultimo Dragon used to come to the ring with 9 belts, and I'm like, okay, and like I don't know where these belts came from, or who we got them from, or what they mean. You know, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like he needs to just give them back and let those companies have their champions, because it's not doing anything to me for the Kenny Omega character.
I honestly do believe that this is just Don Cal saying, hey, we're just going to put all these belts on you to make you look strong, and kind of work each company going, yeah, no, it's going to look great for you. It's going to be great for you having Kenny Omega win your belt. And then Omega won them, and they're basically just decorations, and it doesn't look great for those companies.
Yeah, I mean, does he have, schedules to defend these, or?
So I think the next Impact pay-per-view is coming up, and he is scheduled to wrestle, but they haven't announced a challenger yet.
Now, with Drew's ranking system, if, let's say, Omega lost the championship to Pac, where would he fall?
I don't know. Because he's not ranked right now, so I don't know where he would fall. If we're going by the rankings that I had an idea for, where if you lose your belt, you just take the person's spot, he would fall to second.
So wait, Pac's not ranked?
Pac second.
And Orange Cassidy is where?
First.
Okay.
That's why
they wrestle each other.
That's why I don't like Reagan's, man, because he just beat Tim Bums, Pac beat Tim Bums, and here we are.
So, okay, we have announced Kenny Omega will defend the Impact World title against Moose against all odds on June 12th.
I'm not a fan of putting all the belts on one superstar, because it just means the demise is going to be as great as your reign was. And if you're really good with all those belts, then your fall is going to be really hard.
I can see them finger poking a doom their way out of one of these belts. Just because they're heels.
Dudes. I mean, I don't know what Moose looks like. He could be literally in my refrigerator. And I will go, excuse me, sir, who are you? So
think about
he'll drop it to him. I don't know.
Think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, think about the people who had at least 2 belts, not like all that, 50 belts and stuff like that, but the people who had 2 belts, they never really treated them both with the same, right? Yeah. Somebody always got shorted. Shawn Michaels would hand belts off because he didn't want to defend them. He would hand one to his fans.
Roman dropped the U.S. Triple H had the IC, and then the heavyweight. Yeah.
And then so you're doing this with 2 top company heavyweight championships. You're souring one of them. So that's why it's not a good idea.
Well, we already know which company is the lesser of the 2. But the problem is with AEW, they're treating Impact like it should be held to the same prestige as the AEW championship. That's the issue that I have.
I mean, good on them for doing that. I mean, you'll never convince me, but um, I'm sure they feel that way on that show if somebody was to watch it. I don't, but how could you if your champion's not there? You know, he just ran out to another company. Like, it's crazy.
I just want this to be where it's giving guys the cross promotion that Impact needs. And if we're saying that that has to happen and it's been like 5 or 6 months, then oof.
Then
It's
how come
not good.
I don't see Moose on AEW? I'm only seeing um, the Good Brothers, and I think that's it. That's come from over there, right? Uh, that shows up on AEW from time to time. That's why I said, who is this helping?
I don't know.
That's the
Do you have
thing
any thoughts?
is they
Okay.
were going to send Sammy over there. Sammy didn't want to go, and since then they haven't
Because he know
done.
better.
Yeah, they haven't done anything. And yeah, it definitely just feels like this partnership has been more of just putting Kenny over than anything.
I felt like with Sammy, he took an on-screen demotion just to not go over there. Like he hasn't done shit in a while. He's a jag. He's just a guy. And
Invasions don't work when you're not really invading.
see, here's why this doesn't work. The stature of that company isn't invadable. Like, yes, your core fans will care, but will Swervy, Uop, Avi, will they really care?
Are
No
you, try-
chill? No?
are you trying to tell me this is a realm Shao Kahn don't want?
This is definitely a realm that he's passing off to Kano or somebody. He's like, yo, you need something to do, man. Take this. Like it was all well and good because it's something you haven't really seen with the cross promotion and Don Callis coming in and helping Omega and Omega going over there. Like, dude, the shit sputtered from the first night. I watched. I got suckered in. I said, this is fresh. This is new. And I watched, and I'm just like, okay, now what? And literally, there was nothing. And just a lot of missed opportunities.
It also doesn't help that Impact still has like nobody in the crowd.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not really a change from normal. Normally it looks like there's a WNBA game coming on next. But that doesn't help that you can't get that fan reaction. You can't get that, holy shit, so-and-so's here. It's just fucking quiet with Josh Matthews kind of like trying to get out the name.
Oh my God, it's Moose.
Josh Matthews putting himself over while talking about how Darby Allin's here. There are folks out on Tough Enough, and there's Darby Allin.
Abyss just climbed over the rope.
Someone call animal control, my goodness. Hey, listen, you're going to have a hard time saying, oh my God, it's Moose, and me jumping out of my seat. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Yes, this is like backyard wrestling-ish tactics that you guys are doing. Not on TV.
Oh man.
So next up, we have the Pinnacles promo. Pinnacle makes their way to the ring to brag about their victory at Blood and Guts. MJF touted his faction success, denied Inner Circle's challenge for a rematch, and called himself the new Demo God. Tully Blanchard put over the Pinnacle, presented them with expensive watches. Just as the celebration looked to be over, an air horn interrupted the proceedings with Ortiz, Sammy, and Jake Hager entering Daly's place on a four-wheeler, complete with a little bit of the bubbly banner. Chris Jericho's wearing an arm brace after taking that massive bump on the foam. That was definitely concrete. Why do you ask? He emerged from the back and issued a challenge to MJF for one last battle. When it was denied, Guevara turned the hose on the group, dousing them in a little bit of the bubbly. An irritated MJF accepted the challenge. This time it would be Stadium Stampede. If the Inner Circle loses, they have to disband forever. It was okay.
Okay,
segment.
number one, why the fuck are you killing this already?
I don't know if they're killing it already, because, I mean, Inner Circle could win and keep going.
Yeah, but the Pinnacle and Inner Circle are the best thing going on AEW right now.
Yeah.
And now wait a minute. Let me preface this by saying I haven't watched in like 3 weeks, so I could be wrong. But from the last time I saw it, and I know this was like the midway point. Blood and Guts was the midway point to the pay-per-view coming up next week. So I'm like, they're gonna continue this to the pay-per-view because it's too big just to kill at Blood and Guts. And I'm like, they can't get rid of this now because MJF is hot, Jericho's hot, Sammy's getting some rub. This is too good just to kill.
It's going to go one of two ways. Either A, Inner Circle, and then they plan for, the best of three. The rubber match, if you will. Or B, they make sure to end it before it starts to get stale. Both options I can definitely see. And both are a possibility.
Drew, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you think AEW's been doing with the long build?
They've actually been doing really good with long build. And I say this because you look at somebody like Kenny Omega, who they did a long build on his world title reign. Starting all the way back from when him and Hangman were holding the tag belts. And kind of showing those glimpses of the cracks forming in them of, these tag belts are great, but, I keep on hearing people rumbling that, I've lost a step and all this, and the cracks starting to form. And then when that tag team broke up, he was kind of just drifting around, but constantly just had his eye on that one prize. And then finally they did that slow build to him finally getting that world title. They've done a lot of slow builds like that, and I do say that they have been doing the slow build really good, where it's not just, hey, we're just going to do the same match 4 times in a row, and that's going to be our build.
200 wins later.
Yeah, we're going to do Big E versus Apollo Crews 6 times in a row, and then at WrestleMania, the payoff will be Big E versus Apollo Crews.
In a javelin match.
Do that. See, now I want to be a fake, writer. I want to be a part of creative. So I bought 2K, right? So I did my own little universe. And instead of a month, I'm giving it 5 weeks between pay-per-views. I feel like that's enough time to let things breathe. You can have different match types. It keeps it fresh where every wrestler doesn't have to be on the card. You can still do your promos. I don't want to have a match on Thursday or Friday that's between Big E and Apollo. And then Sunday at the pay-per-view have another match, and then you circle back around that's following Thursday. It's like, once again, it's going to be Big E and Apollo Crews. It's like, enough. Switch it up.
I do like the fact that they do pay-per-views 4 times a year. And the reason I like that is because usually they break it up with, a special edition of Dynamite just to, kind of spicing up the rivalry or whatever. But for the most part, you have the moving parts. And it's, okay, so for example, the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker thing. That slow build was about 6 months, where constantly you saw Britt Baker talking shit about Thunder Rosa, getting involved in her matches, maybe not like jumping in, but being at ringside and just costing her distractions. to the point where they were constantly trying to get at each other, that finally their first match was that bloodbath match. And it made it seem like they had so many matches with each other. That was their first match with each other in AEW. But it was just the build of the rivalry with other matches was so good that, it felt like it was just organic that way.
6 pay-per-views is the magic number for them. Slow builds is fine, but other times it hurts. We waited 2 weeks for Jade Cargill to talk for 10 seconds and still didn't tell us anything.
I think that they will probably eventually get to 6 pay-per-views. I think that with the whole COVID thing, logistically, it's not a great look to do so many pay-per-views, but I think once they get out of this COVID bullshit, they'll go to 6 pay-per-views, because a couple of these special edition Dynamites were pay-per-views. Like Fight for the Fallen and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean 6 would be nice. I don't know. Like, it sometimes can be difficult to keep things fresh, but maybe they take a page out of UFC or boxing with promo for that build, because those builds are long as fuck. They could be a year. They could be 6 months. You just got to keep things fresh, and everything's. I mean, like 95% of stuff in wrestling is so redundant. But you just got to find a way to be different. And don't get me wrong. I was hyped for the Styles and Nakamura match. Hyped. But if the third or fourth time they fight, and it's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, I hate that. Even to Lucha Underground, when it was Prince Puma and Rey Mysterio. Dude, I did not hate that it was the fourth time they were fighting. I knew I was going to get a good match. But at Lucha Underground, you were more there for the performance versus the story. WWE, AEW, you're there for both. Make it make sense. Yes, you're giving me great matches, but why should I care once the bell rings?
And that is why I do like what the whole Inner Circle Pinnacle thing is. Aside from Blood and Guts, those two sides, nobody on those sides wrestle each other. Aside from Blood and Guts. They weren't in singles matches against each other. They weren't, we're going to have 3 different tag matches. It wasn't like that. It was, hey, these guys are not in matches until the event.
That's the cheap way to go about doing it.
What's that?
The cheap way is making it a tag team on the first show, and then a singles match next week, and then a 6-man. That's the cheap way. But you said you would prefer it that way, Swerve, where
I would prefer them have
some.
No, I would prefer them have some singles interactions. If the end goal is 2 factions meet up at the end, then why not have some singles interaction? You got 20 guys in each thing, way too many for everybody to get a championship. So you might as well have them do something.
Make the people pay for the interaction.
Yeah, but
I'm not waiting for what's the guy's name? There used to be 10. I don't care what he does, in the in the group fight. He can fight one-on-one.
You're talking about Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, like come on. I'm not sold on him just because you put him in your group now.
I mean, let me say this. There is something to be said for you open the show, each faction comes out, and there's a match that you can make between the 8 guys or the 10 guys. Yes, you can do that, but maybe not every week. But some weeks you kind of do need that, and you don't have to have it end with a perfect, spotless match. You can have, a turnbuckle getting taken off, or a chair being presented, or an interference from somebody. Or you can have it end in a DQ where you get the big blow up on the go home show. You kind of do need that. because that is going to add more build. Think about where Austin and Mike Tyson was there. That worked perfectly. That type of, hey, we're going to have an encounter. Yes, it's not a match, but we're in the ring together and pot's going to boil over. We need that to make WrestleMania work as well as we want it to. Sometimes you need that.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they do save a lot of it. And I did notice that with the feud between Best Friends and Miro and Kip Sabian, they had them touch a lot in between that feud, and it really hurt the feud itself. The last match was pretty solid, but other than that, the fact that they kept on having matches in between really just diminished the feud as a whole.
Like, yo, it gets boring, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Like you can do stuff where you have them wrestling completely different people and have their rivals do something to cause some kind of a interference, whether it's just standing up on the ramp, distracting them, whether it's, actually getting involved in the match, whether it's an after the match altercation, something like that to, change up the opponents, but at the same time keep that heat going sometime during the segment.
Dude, that's what I say. It's 95% of it is redundant. You can have them stand on the ramp. You can have them do commentary. Let's say they have an ally in the back and they're beating the shit out of them. You could do that. Let's say the entrance music plays and no one comes out. Let's say the entrance music plays and they're standing in the crowd. There's so many. We could be here until fucking Bigfoot comes home, running off a list of things you can do to make feuds work without having guys legally touch. And I don't know, man. It infuriates me when I watch shows sometimes, and I'm just like, why? Not to go to WWE, but I hear on Twitter people are, oh my God, Kofi beat Bobby Lashley. So I go back and I look at it on YouTube, 2 minutes, and I see how he won. Get the fuck out of here. You're calling that a real win? No. Kofi was just a fucking man who got hit by a car and got money. It wasn't about him. If that doesn't make sense at all. But you understand what I'm saying. He was just a bystander. It's Drew and Lashley. That's what it's about. Lashley's not mad at Kofi more than he is mad at Drew. Sorry. So, I mean, I'll say that to say this. Find a way to make the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle work where you can keep it going longer than 2 months. I think it should. Too much at stake.
And I do agree.
Yeah, I mean, it could be DX and Nation.
Right.
Minus blackface.
Minus a lot of things.
Like, I mean, am I tripping or like, is there any brighter star in AEW right now other than MJF?
I mean, maybe Britt Baker.
Well,
but as far as the males go now.
And MJF is somebody who will fling a toothpick at you while you're at the fucking airport, will stay in character. Yes, he will curse at your son while you're taking pictures. And if you want that type of gritty, real 90s heel that is the character, then dude, it's him. If that's what you want, then go for it.
So here's the thing. A lot of people got upset when he flipped off that kid. But I will point out one thing that's really big about that. And that is that before that incident, nobody was talking really about AEW outside of the typical sources. Once that happened, people who barely even heard of AEW were talking about it. So, yeah, it might be not the best publicity, but all publicity is good publicity. And, it at least stuck out in people's heads of, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, you might have been upset about it, you might have been disgusted about it, but I'm guaranteeing that there was at least some people who tuned in who probably wouldn't have just because they wanted to see it.
So what you saying is Jungle Boy should pose for Playgirl.
I mean,
that's what I'm hearing.
If he wants to. I don't even know if Playgirl's still around. You can tell me. But I mean, honestly, no publicity is bad publicity. If he does, they'll probably raise their female audience. Shit, Shawn Michaels did it.
But if I don't know, man, you're writing a movie, and in this movie, you're 50 minutes in, and the movie is about a character that hasn't really exploded yet, and you're finally writing the arc for that character, which is MJF. Don't you want it to be like an amazing run?
Yeah, I'm not arguing with it. I think that it should continue. You don't have to convince me.
MJF is the reason why those rankings are BS.
Exactly. Because whether he's first or 15th, I want that motherfucker in the main event.
But he doesn't need that world title opportunity right now. Because at the same time, it would take him out of something that he's doing right now, which is really good.
Yeah, but really you're saying he don't need it, but the rankings is telling me that he should be there.
That's fine. But at the same time, he hasn't had any singles matches in a long time. That's why he's not there.
He's still like 20-0.
For the year? I don't even think that there have been 20 events this year.
Well, I mean, you know.
Okay, let's get through the rest of Dynamite. So next up, we have the Denny's special.
Oh.
We got some ham and eggs being served up as Thunder Rosa takes on Jasmine Allure. Quick squash. Before the match, Jim Ross.
Egg and ham diet.
Before the match, Jim Ross interviewed Britt Baker, who is going to be challenging Sheeta at Double or Nothing for the Women's Championship. So she's finally getting her shot at the belt. And then main event of the night, TNT Championship. We got Darby Allin with Sting taking on Miro.
This was a shocker to me.
Yeah, as soon as the match started, Miro got right on him. Just whoop that ass. During the commercial break, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky came down, attacked Sting, kind of taking away Darby Allin's backup. Because, I guess backup is a 60-year-old man. This eventually led to Darby Allin going for a coffin drop that got kind of countered into the Accolade. And Miro coming away with the TNT Championship.
Wow.
Right before this happened, I was just complaining to Abby about how I'm tired of the title defense matches on AEW because you just assume they're not going to lose the belt because they haven't for so long. And then they finally did it. They had the title change sooner than I thought. So congrats to AEW.
Okay, let me see if you keep this congrats. Why do it now versus next week?
Because it's TNT Championship. Do it on TNT. I think that that's part of their whole thing with TNT is TNT wants that title to be changing hands on TNT.
See, okay, I have a little issue with that. So you told me there's only how many? Well, on average, we're looking at what, 8 matches at the pay-per-view?
I'm not sure. Let me pull up the pay-per-view right now to see what's on there.
Because if it is, then I'm going to take back what I'm going to say. While you're looking it up, tag team women's and the main event are mainly defended at pay-per-views. They're going to make her championship short, you feel like?
Well, it can be defended at the pay-per-view, but...
Well, that's my thing. Like, this is shades of Charlotte and Asuka before. I forgot what pay-per-view that was, where I think someone might have been Asuka who dropped the belt.
So right now, we have 5 matches scheduled for Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Now I say right now because obviously they'll probably be adding more. But right now they have 5.
Okay.
Those
I'm
matches.
much of a stickler about that then.
Did you want me to go into those matches now, or?
Well, no, because we have to do this next week, correct?
Yeah.
You know, we could save it. I mean, unless there's something that you see that's like glaring out at you that you're like,
No.
Yo, I think this is gonna happen.
But yeah, AEW Dynamite went off the air with Darby Allin not giving up. He did not submit, but he did pass out from the pain.
Because he's right up there with Austin.
When's that blow up happening between him and Sting?
So after the match, Paige and Sky attacked Sting again. The Dark Order came out and made the save, chasing the heels off, and the show went off the air with Lance Archer staring down Miro.
Darby did take the number 5 spot.
Yeah.
Did you want to go over Backlash?
Oh God. Yeah, we could.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Let the record show that it's not me. The second thing I wanted to bring up that I forgot earlier was, have you guys, one, been watching the series on A&E Biography?
Yes.
2, let's talk Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay. So let's do that after.
You want to go to distance, huh?
I mean, I'll just answer the part 1 quickly. I have not watched AEW or the A&E Biography. I haven't watched it all.
Me neither.
I have. And we can discuss it a little bit. Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Long. They're definitely a little bit long. A lot of controversy with the Randy Savage one, because it was more of a burial job than anything. Essentially, the biography just buried the shit out of Savage. Yeah, just about his controlling nature, his issues with Liz. A lot of people just buried the shit out of him. A lot of wrestlers just took offense to that. Like, everyone else, they made, seem like, these are guys who had troubles, but got through it. And then here's a guy who can't defend himself because he's not with us anymore, who's beloved by people, who did a lot of great things. And they basically just made it an hour and a half with just a complete fucking character assassination. And then you have Mick Foley on Twitter trying to get Ms. Liz's fucking murderer in the Hall of Fame. So, fuck Foley.
Ooh, Luger?
Yeah.
That is the most toxic workplace ever. Like, I want to complain about coworkers where I'm at, dude. Oh my God. That place is, oh my God, a cesspool.
Also, Shawn Michaels' biography, man, he was way too comfortable talking about doing cocaine. What? Way too comfortable. Like, yeah, so, after the match, we just went back and did that Yale. Because that's what you did. But you could definitely tell who kicked the habit and who kept it as far as him and Marty, because Marty looks fucked.
Who looks worse, Marty or the wife of Brian Pillman?
Oh, well, Brian Pillman's wife. Oh, what did I tell Uwap that she looked like? Fuck.
You might have told us too.
Did I?
I think you did.
I want to look up what I called her. Because now, mind you, she is a piece of shit inside and out. Yeah, I don't know what I called her, but she is a walking train wreck. I think I called her like the walking embodiment of COVID or something. Oh no, she looks like the side effects of the COVID vaccine.
Yes.
And it's true. She does. Yeah, she looks worse than Marty.
GTA 5 hitting consoles again November. You guys excited for the third time?
Another one.
Add some more water to it, man. we have a dish soap. Open it up, put some water in it, shake it up.
You know that hot sauce ain't all the way gone yet.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. We don't waste nothing around here. 59 was it 59? Because they gonna cop it.
They might get bold to charge you $79 for it.
Oh, they're gonna charge you $70.
Dude, has there been any game that has come out for these next gen consoles yet? Because
that's actually next gen.
Hitman.
Who?
Hitman.
Oh yeah, that was a couple months ago.
Also, that Returnal came out, I guess. All right, let's get into WrestleMania Backlash. So pre-show, we had Sheamus defeat Ricochet. So pour one out for your dead homie Ricochet.
I'm pretty sure he just pointed his way to a happy feeling.
Next up, we have triple threat for the women's championship. Rhea Ripley taking on Charlotte, taking on Asuka. Rhea Ripley retains.
That was a silly finish.
I didn't even see it.
Charlotte gave Asuka the boot from outside of the ring, on the outside of the rope, and then Asuka got, booted into Rhea's riptide finisher. But Charlotte, I guess she booted her so hard that she flew off of the ring. They didn't show her fly off the ring, but that's what they kind of want you to think.
I have a problem with WWE. And yes, I know you want to make it like people are there. But please stop pumping these fake ass chants.
You still got it.
I get holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. There's no one there.
They shouldn't even be doing that because ain't it Peacock? I mean, why are they even pumping that?
Because it gives off the facade that this moment you should be saying this. It's like, I mean, I've been in the studio audience before where the program director holds up a sign and tells you when to applaud or when to say a catchphrase on said show. And I feel like they've just taken that completely out and just say, hey, people at home, you should be saying holy shit when, Roman Spears Cesaro.
Well, they should get a beach ball and have it go in there every once in a while too.
Yeah, but about that finish, I mean, they can get away with a lot now that no one's there watching it live. You can take somebody out of a frame completely. You can do a lot with that. So, I mean, kudos to them, I guess, for being smarter than the average bear. What's next?
Next up, we have tag team titles on the line. Ziggler and Rude defending against the Mysterios. Bray and Dominic become the first father-son tag team champions.
Now, was this an illegitimate pole or an illegitimate child on the pole match? Was any stipulation with this, or
No, it was just a normal tag match.
okay? Big ups to them.
And then, speaking of stipulations, and before we get into the next match, I did just want to say something very unrelated, totally not related to this at all. But after Blood and Guts, Stephanie McMahon had publicly stated that AEW set the business back decades with that display of violence and just gratuitous as far as just not being great wrestling.
It was Stephanie that said it? They were making it seem like it was Vince.
No, that was a Stephanie quote. Having said that, Damian Priest versus The Miz, Batista comes on the big screen, talks a little bit about his movie DayZ. Then we got zombies around the ring.
Drew, you don't get this, man.
Am I the only one who feels like this is RoboCop from WCW all over again?
I said I was going to let you live, but as I'm processing things, I just have a couple of things to say. What's different between this?
I want to know. I want to hear you defend this. I want to hear you defend this bullshit. Walking Dead is on Sunday, so it makes sense, guys.
I just have one question. What's the difference between this and Triple H and Stephanie coming out in like 300 movie gear, or when they're promoting something, they put it in their entrance, or they wear ring attire that promotes a movie that they're doing or they're a part of?
Because for that's them coming out of ring gear that they eventually take off and reveal that it's literally just them wearing fancy ring gear, very much like a Deontay Wilder when he lost his legs. Whereas here, we're insinuating that these are real zombies. Real, actual zombies that, after the match, proceeded to eat Miz and Morrison. And then, like, right after he got eaten by zombies, Miz is on Twitter. So if you're following, what's that?
What's the difference between this and a bunch of non-working arcade cabinets?
No, tell me.
Well, once again, I can make a non-working arcade cabinet, but I can't make a fucking zombie who is going to eat a motherfucker after the match, right after saying that my company set the business back 30 years.
Now, Drew, here's where I have a problem with this.
Is it that Maurice is now single?
She's not single.
I mean, she is. Her husband just got eaten by zombies.
This is why...
You know who else is single?
Who?
Melinda Gates. Let's go!
Gotta get that bag.
Fam, that shot has to be like hitting a three-pointer all the way from where you're sitting at, hoping that it goes in the Staples Center.
By the way,
good luck.
You know who we found out as a punk?
Who?
Bill Gates, because he didn't say we want prenup. We want prenup.
Oh my God. All right, listen, before I forget my take, you got to learn to separate, man. Did you really think that Miz wasn't going to be alive? Did you really want him to be eaten by zombies?
Why are zombies there? Why are zombies there?
For promotional reasons, bro.
You're talking about, they set the business back 30 years. But here's cartoon zombies.
I can't vouch for Stephanie's comment. That was, yes.
Well, she's running the fucking company. It's not like she's in the mailroom. It's not like she's somebody working at the front reception desk going, oh, I don't like AEW. They set the company back 30 years. I don't make any decisions. She's making fucking decisions. Who booked this? Who booked this shit?
Right, Vince.
Who sat there and says, yeah, Batista, who has actively said he doesn't want to come back to WWE and kind of blew us off for the Hall of Fame, trying to promote this DayZ now. Yeah, let's let him do that here.
True.
Oh, zombies. Oh yeah, no, we'll just put zombies in the match. It's fine. It went over so good when we did it in ECW.
Listen, Drew.
When we had the Sandman cane the shit out of a zombie, it went over so well. Let's just have a bunch of them.
Listen, man. You're out hanging up flyers for your lemonade sale, and you run into your old work, and you're like, hey, don't you know such and such? Wow, could you reach out to them for me? Because I feel like with their inclusion in what I'm doing, my lemonade stand should pop off. Sure, I'll help you out. That's what this is, bro.
Okay, so once again, you have a company who prides itself on trying to be as professional and realistic as possible. Hey, we can't blade because that's barbaric. Blading is barbaric. But we're gonna have zombies eat someone. We're family friendly, and nothing's more family friendly than having two of the characters that people see on TV every day that your kids have action figures for get eaten by fucking zombies.
This is the same company that has a wrestler called The Fiend who got set on fire. And this sets you off?
I mean, hey, listen, I'm not defending The Fiend. I mean, I'm saying that shit was garbage too.
Have you ever had second-degree burns and then come back 8 weeks later and wrestle in a match? And that's not setting you off, but this is?
I didn't say it didn't set me off. That shit was garbage.
Hey, man, your reactions are saying it.
Hey, man, you said that you could not defend this shit, and your defense in this is kind of garbage.
I'm not defending it. I'm just
You
saying,
are defending it.
See, no, I'm not. I'm just saying you have to understand this is what they do. It's stupid as hell. But for the fact that you're surprised, it's weird.
Hey,
because this is what they do. I'm not surprised.
If you're not down with the lumber zombie match, we got 3 words for you. Such good shit.
Yeah, this Vince signed off on this. I'll tell you that now. Vince signed off on it. They thought it was a good idea for promotional. Miz will literally put anything over.
Miz is a whore for Hollywood.
Well, yeah.
Oh, maybe if I do this for Batista, he'll put me in his next movie. He won't.
That's all. I mean, that's all this is.
Called you Mark last song.
Now, if zombies are eating Roman Reigns alive, okay, now we got a real problem. So what the hell's going on here? The hell was that?
What that was a Swerve special right there.
Hey, just keep hiding.
Hey, man, it ain't a pod unless we got something going on in the hallway, I mean.
All right, so next up we got Bianca Belair defending her title against Bayley. Bianca retained.
I did see. I don't know how I feel about this ending.
You feel like everybody else feels because it was botched.
Yeah. It was definitely botched.
I can't imagine that Bianca has a single pay-per-view match without somebody fucking up.
Listen, I want to love Bianca as champion. I'm just not there yet. And I don't know if that's me or if that's her.
I think that's with you.
What you say?
Did you watch the match?
No,
I did. Oh. Swervy, am I tripping or what?
You said you did watch the match?
I watched it, yeah.
Oh.
A little part of me was hoping that Bayley actually won the match. just because she just made it look so much better. Until we got to the end.
I guess they have Sasha on a break or something.
I'm not gonna say I hate the Bailey character. And I guess it makes sense that she was so annoying at Mania. She's like the female Sami Zayn.
You about to love her if she goes bald.
Why would she go bald?
Because it was rumors of them having a hair versus hair match or something like that at some point.
Great. Sinead O'Connor wrestling now.
Bailey would show the chrome dome.
Yeah, she did kind of like lift the back of her head up, and I don't know what the hell was in the back of it.
Well, I know the one day she etched the word Cole into it because she always talked to Michael Cole.
Yeah, she was talking to them during the match. Her and Pat, or him and Pat, I should say.
Next up, we have Bobby Lashley taking on Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley retained.
Swerve, what do you think about this match, man?
It was great.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm not gonna buy because no one's ever came back from this. But hey, if anybody had to do it, I'm glad it was Lashley. But usually when you're taken out, that's usually the end. When you're thrown backstage.
You see sparks fly?
Yeah, you see sparks fly. Not even Cena got up for that. The God Cena. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little surprised that he came back in the match.
Well, they showed their cards when McIntyre looked under the LED lights and he wasn't there. I was like, oh, this is the equivalent of just being knocked out and being underneath the announce table.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm glad that he did what he did.
But
it wasn't a bad match.
I was thinking though, when that happened at the time, when he had eliminated him, so to speak, I was thinking, okay, well, this match isn't, because I was telling myself this match should be last. I was like, all right, well, it's not going to last, so it's probably not going to have a finish. So I was thinking that Drew and Braun, being the meathead that he is, they're going to, collapse themselves, outside the ring somewhere, do a spear through the guardrail or something like that, and neither one of them will answer, or get up, or they'll just call it, whatever, even though there's no 10 count, So I figured it would be something like that, and they was just going to just do this to get a Hell in a Cell where nobody can kind of leave the barrier. That's what I was thinking, but lo and behold, Lashley comes back.
That man came back like he just was never in the match before.
Yeah, like he came back like he was interference, like he wasn't even in it. And Spear Braun. I mean, I knew Braun Strowman was gonna be the guy to take a pin if somebody was taking one, but yeah, I was like, okay, I didn't see this one.
He cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Right, my man was fresh.
Yeah, it was almost like they recorded a different night, and he was, no sweat on him or nothing, like.
Right. So realistically, how long is this championship staying on him?
Listen, it already went longer than I thought. It went past WrestleMania already. I'm already like, hey, I know we'll borrow time, but I think that because of what was happening and what happened on Raw, they are trying to at least stretch this to SummerSlam until somebody worthy could come back. I don't feel like Drew is getting this back from him.
No, I think it's I mean, come on, man.
That's the only money match Bobby Lashley has ever wanted since returning. And I know Vince McMahon has the pockets to make it happen. We just have to see if he's going to make it happen.
Quick prediction. If that is the opponent and he squashes him, I am quitting this podcast.
Well, do they have the pockets? Because this is the same company had to get rid of 8 wrestlers so that they could afford Eva Marie.
I mean, it's no different from what my company does.
Get rid of a bunch of people to bring in somebody who can't do the job?
Yes. It's one of the things that companies almost do officially well.
Only because you could pay them lower. Well, I don't know about Eva Marie or what she's doing, but you know,
I mean, look, it's a name. She was on Big Brother.
is it?
Yeah, she was.
No, I'm saying,
She
is
was
it's a name? You're saying like she's gonna be a draw
not so
to?
many people in wrestling were on CBS top two show.
I
It's a
mean, if she
name.
comes back and does uh, what's that girl's name with the big nose? I can't think of her name right
Natty.
now. No. So if she comes back and does what Sonya Deville's doing, then what was the point? You could have got anybody to do that. I don't feel like she's gonna be wrestling.
Well, she's not. She's not there to win championships. We all know that. Maybe she's there to become an interviewer. I don't know.
I mean,
But
did you give
nonetheless,
your
she's there.
interviewers these promo packages and stuff? Like,
Yeah, she's coming back to be talent.
casting coach?
Surprised she wasn't there.
What are you doing with that camera? Wait. What are you doing with that tripod? Let's loosen up. What? Thirsty? Tell me about yourself. Well, I'm 18. I'm in college. What brings you here today?
I, I enjoy sex. Ooh.
Well, there was this one
We're
time
gonna do the
in
rehearsal
school.
right here.
Right. Wait, hold on. My favorite line. State your name, please.
How old
Oh
are you?
my god.
I'm 18. Oh, you're fresh out of high school. Oh, yeah. Have you ever done anything like this? Absolutely not.
Meanwhile, you're on fucking gawkers.com.
Meanwhile, you pulled the video from her personal channel on the hub.
In a 301 handicap match on the back of a school bus.
He's fucking a midget with a strap on.
Oh my god. You got something on your face that looks like SPF 30.
Oh my.
Main event time.
Okay.
I've never done this before.
Never done this before. She ends up looking like Darby Allin. Okay, main event time.
Looks like Stinger 89.
We Roman Reigns taking on Cesaro for the Universal Championship.
Now, before we talk about this match, let's go back to SmackDown because I saw the preview for this. I didn't know the alcohol.
Mac, I don't know what's going on with your headset.
All right, what about now?
Okay.
All right.
Was it Jimmy Uso came back on SmackDown?
Yeah.
You could just say the other Uso.
Oh yeah, okay. The other Uso came out wearing a shirt that said "Nobody's bitch."
Peacock, let's get him.
Peacock. You know what I mean? We here. For the fact that his brother didn't super kick him for wearing that shirt, because it was clearly talking about him. That was that was funny. And also weird, the interaction between those two. Because he's like, I'm not gonna be your lap dog, and you're not gonna do whatever you tell me. I'm not gonna do whatever you tell me to do. And Roman's like, oh, you think you could do what I do? And da 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 da. He puts him in the match with Cesaro. So you are somebody's bitch because Roman put on his Teddy Long hat and GM'd his way into making a match between you two, which ended up in a DQ because Roman had to come save you. And then we fast forward to the pay-per-view, and I don't know what happened between SmackDown and then, but then I guess Jey Uso was kind of questioning Roman in the gorilla position, and Roman told him to go find your brother because he doesn't need him. Swerve, do you have any answers for that? Because I'm lost.
Even though I know we're focusing on the Usos right now, but that whole conversation prior to the match only makes Cesaro looks worse.
Yeah.
Because I know the match was good. Like it was better than I expected, right? But it makes him look worse because there was zero interference. Um, I don't know what the dynamic is supposed to be. I know the obvious things like Uso is trying to pull the other Uso back and become, tag team champions again, like they haven't done that 30 times. And the other Uso just, wants to be under Roman's control because I guess, he accomplished the Andre the Giant Battle Royal while under that. So, hey, that's a singles thing he did. But I don't. He's kind of already embarrassed them months ago, before, like back in October, not October, well, whatever it was last year, whatever that time was, we did the Hell in a Cell. He already embarrassed them both, so I don't want to see the other Uso getting a a world championship title match out of this because he's back now and off injury or whatever. So they better both team up and be on the same page, or they both better leave, and Roman better fight both Usos 1-on-2 and destroy them both, so that we can end this because I don't really get where it's going.
Okay, so
Anymore.
let's say the blow up is Usos turn on Roman. You're not getting the fucking championship, so who cares?
But
Yeah.
their whole thing on SmackDown, or Jimmy's whole thing, and it was pretty good quote, is if we win the tag belts and you lose your Universal Championship, wouldn't that make us head of the table? And so that kind of splintered his whole, dominance of this family. Like,
No.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that quote, Drew.
I don't think it makes them headed. It doesn't make them headed. No one's headed the table at that point, if you ask me.
Well,
Roman
Heyman
without
kind of
a
played it really
championship
good.
is still ahead of the table, even if they have. Listen, they can have tag team championships, and they each could hold a singles belt, and Roman would still be the head of the table. And that's just facts. You heard the stats at Backlash. The man has competed in 39 39 matches for the championship. 39. He could lose it on the 40th and still will be the head guy.
Yeah, but his nickname is not main event like Jey Uso.
I mean, good point, but still, listen. I love Usos' work as tag team champions when they're heels. It's great work, But under God's blue green earth, no, not a chance. When it comes to who's eating, Roman is the porterhouse. He's the ribeye. He's the lobster. Usos are.
Roman's the filet video.
Dude, Usos are. Would you like some more bread, sir? That's who they are. Like, wow, this bread is so good, but you didn't come there for the bread. You came there for the entree.
Yeah, I do kind of like the right hand man T-shirt, but it has, a negative connotation with it, so I can't like it too much.
I told y'all this when it started. Here's my problem with this. They don't have a mid-card guy in this faction. So it's going to kind of be hard for me to believe when this shit blows up, there'll be an ascension for one of these Usos. Because let's say they turn on Roman, what's their next step?
Back to facing the Viking Raiders, Street Profits.
That or, one of them trying to challenge him for the belt, or them just moving on.
Yeah, he faces both of them, and then when they both lose, they go to Raw, and that's that. Shout out to the birds chirping in the back. We hear
Sorry
you.
about that.
I mean, unless I know we were saying Brock and Lashley. What about Brock and Roman?
Come on, don't do that, Mac. Don't do that.
Again?
You can't possibly tell me that you want to see that. I don't care about the heel dynamic of Roman. That's going to change if Brock Lesnar gets in the ring, and you know it.
If it's
So
good
please,
for business, then yeah, I want to see it.
it won't be good for business. It's not going to be good for business. He better not show his face on SmackDown while Roman's there.
Yo, Oos. Yeah, I know you the head of the table. You the only one at the table. But guess what?
Yo, dude. Brock Lesnar's not doing that, first of all. Have him looking like Psycho Sid and Ahmed Johnson in that one faction when they came back. I was like... That's not happening, bro. Please.
Well, would be nice if they bring back maybe one of the Fire superstars, Samoa Joe. Now, that would be sweet.
If Samoa Joe could only wrestle.
You know what I would want to see? I would want to see this happen where there's a rift between the family and like Rikishi's brought in to be the voice of reason and Roman just spears the shit out of him. Like
Just
that right
lays
there.
him the fuck out.
Dude, I would love that. That would be sweet. That would be like, how heel can you get? Next to spearing a pregnant woman, I think spearing Rikishi, because who hates Rikishi? Nobody. That would be pretty awesome.
There's really only one thing that Roman can do, but if that never happens, then they have to spend all this time, and they have, what is it? He probably won't have a worthy opponent by SummerSlam. Let's just go out here and say that. He probably won't have one, but their next big chance of hoping to snag a money match would be Survivor Series.
So, in this match on Sunday, we got a 10-second stare down.
Mm-hmm.
If that stare down is Dogecoin, how much are you buying?
Not a whole lot, because we've seen it before, and yes, Seth Rollins beat him. You can pretty much guarantee he's going to go the other way. But the match will probably be better by a little bit, but the dynamic between them is I'm not gonna care that much.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Seth Rollins go against Super Saiyan Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I don't think it'll be all that different.
For me, if it's Dogecoin, I will buy it. I'll buy a lot of it just because of the fact that you always buy low, and you don't get much lower than that.
Seth Rollins hasn't really morphed into anything like good. Wow,
He hasn't had anything meaningful since he came back.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he's been doing this, whatever this thing is, the savior stuff, but it hasn't peaked, or it's been sailing. I mean, sinking. I don't really know what's going on with it, but it's time for that to change, or, I don't know.
Yeah, they should have addressed this gimmick that they're doing now the same way they got that bullshit gimmick from Kevin Owens out of there. Quick. He wore a suit after the draft.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh, we got some pyro going off in the back.
4th of July on deck.
These motherfuckers are doing that like all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, thoughts on the match itself, though, because I don't think anybody talked about that. I thought
Match
it
was
was
good.
pretty good, a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Cesaro looked like the same way I would look if I was walking out for my first match ever. He looked very happy to be there and excited.
Yeah.
Like he could not hold that emotion in. Too bad it wasn't in front of people, but you know.
I'm not gonna lie. Michael Cole did that thing where you think he, as he's talking, Cesaro's going over because he's bringing up these stats where Cesaro hasn't done nearly as much as Roman has, and he's dropping the Easter eggs, and I'm like, I know they're not gonna pop on it, but it's WWE. There's a chance. So I thought that was good, and I thought overall the match was good with the uppercut, and he didn't swing Roman, but he tried to. He got the sharpshooter off. It was a good back and forth. I didn't hate it.
I thought he would at least give him that other thing that he did to Seth Rollins.
I forgot what you call it. I know you're talking about though.
Drew?
Also, shout out to WWE for not calling Drew McIntyre the Scottish psychopath anymore.
Oh, they haven't done that in a while.
I just noticed it.
They call him something else now.
He's like the Scottish sorcerer or some bullshit. I can't think of the name of it.
Scottish swordsman.
Scottish Superman.
But yeah, I mean, they put an exclamation point on that feud by having all those attacks. so Cesaro won't be challenging Roman anymore.
Yeah. Well, that was Backlash. Drew, do you have any material to roll around in the mud with?
I do.
Oh shit! After a month off, hell.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's gonna be about 8 years worth of.
I have one piece I want to start with. I want to get
All right.
dirty. Let's get dirty.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Raw will apparently, I guess, by July get new sets. So we're switching up how things are going to look on Monday Night Raw. And I think they're saying July because of when fans are going to come back. These will look a little bit different around these parts. That's all I got.
All right, well, we all know that
Here comes Drew with his dump truck. Go ahead, Drew.
we all know that Vice has Dark Side of the Ring, but they're finally getting actual wrestling on their show as well. MLW signs with Vice,
What?
so they will have TV on Vice TV every Saturday at noon on Vice.
They've also got Dark Side of Football on there. I watched one episode of that.
Yeah.
Chad Johnson, the diva wide receiver. So they're in the multiverse now.
Speaking of multiverse for TNT, TNT just signed a huge deal that could have an impact on Dynamite. That is the TV rights for NHL starting in 2022. This also includes Wednesday night games. So because of this, there is a chance that we could see Dynamite moving days. They already announced that they would be moving this upcoming Dynamite episode from Wednesday to Friday. because of the NBA playoffs. But now we may see it moving permanently to a different date because of the fact that we have NHL going on Wednesdays, which was part of their agreement. It's a $225 million deal, which really goes to show just how shitty NHL's been doing.
Monday.
If anything, I could see them going on a Tuesday or Thursday.
No, come on, man. Put your balls on the table.
They're not ready for Monday. They would get fucking swallowed up.
Let me see how big it is. Put it on the table. Go to Monday.
Evil East.
Hold on, Drew. You stay in there for a second. They've got the viewership numbers, right? They're flaunting the numbers.
So they have gotten over 1 million viewers twice. The episode before Blood and Guts, and then the episode after Blood and Guts, or Blood and Guts itself. Both got 1 million, and then Blood and Guts itself was the #1 cable TV show on Wednesdays for that week. First time ever.
Well, you know what they should do?
What's that?
Like all rappers who have that great debut album, they should just do another one, but put a part 2 at the end of it. Try to recapture that magic.
Yeah, I mean, look, this really would light a fire under the wrestling world if they went to Monday. Because you do realize this now becomes a true competition.
But here's the problem. TNA tried that same thing. They thought that they were too big for the britches. They were getting great numbers on Spike on Thursday nights and decided, you know what, we're going to go head-to-head on Monday nights. And it caused irreversible damage to them. Shit that they never rebounded from.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's a good idea to go Monday head-to-head Monday.
They're bigger than TNA, though, right? So
they're bigger than TNA, but at the same time, they're not ready to go head-to-head with Monday Night Raw. It's just not feasible.
What's a better show, Drew? Raw or Dynamite?
It doesn't matter what a better show is.
Why doesn't it? I thought that was
like
the point.
This too. So you're talking about pro wrestling here, but here's the problem: they're not competing with pro wrestling. They're not. I liken this to any time a new MMO comes out, whether it's Destiny, whether it's Final Fantasy 14, whatever the fuck. Every time a new MMO comes out, what's the first thing they say? We are a WoW killer, and you're not. Why? Because you're not competing with another MMO. It doesn't matter how good your game is. It doesn't matter if it's better, if it has better mechanics, if it is cheaper. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're not going up against a game. You're going up against a brand. You're going up against somebody who has conventions, who has movies, who has books. You're going up against somebody who has all this media, and you're just one thing. Like
video games.
Yeah. AEW is just Dynamite. It's Dynamite, it's their web series, and it's some pay-per-views. They're not going up against a pro wrestling company. They're going up against a fucking brand. They're going up against, WWE, who, I will say this completely. I love AEW. They're not competing with WWE. They're competing with Ring of Honor and Impact. That's who they're competing with. That's their competition. Because you're not competing with WWE. They have 60 years on you. They have movies rights. They have their own network. They have all this shit. You're not competing with them. And it's suicide to think that you're going to go head-to-head with them at this point and succeed.
Swerve.
Yes.
Let me holler at you, man. Because remember, and all this shit came out. Oh, there's a new team on the block. AEW. WWE's in trouble. Remember
At
all
what
that?
point did I say that they were going out of business? At what point did I sit there and say that they were in legitimate trouble?
I ain't say this about going out of business. I'm just saying it was a new kid on the block, and this isn't your favorite wrestling. This isn't your bullshit you've been used to for the past 10 years. They peg themselves to be
where the
main
big boys
competitor of said company. Right.
They are a wrestling
the big guns
alternative.
out.
They're a wrestling alternative.
To what?
And they're a good alternative.
Now they're alternative.
They're
We're
a
struggling to put them
solid
numbers
alternative.
up, man.
What?
We're struggling to put them numbers up, and it get real when them lights come on.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? Maybe if WWE buries all their NXT talent that they bring up, like they always do, then maybe we'll talk. Because, once their roster ages out. I love how every NXT wrestler is usually out of the company by like 3 years after they're called up.
Shinsuke is still there.
Essentially, they're the team drafting Trevor Lawrence and putting him at defensive tackle because they've never watched a fucking single game of his. They just know that they have a good player. That's how they treat every single NXT call-up is, oh yeah, no, fans love him. We're going to change his character completely. Have fun, Keith Lee.
You was talking all that big boy shit, man, when this whole thing started. I just want to know where did that energy go? That's all I'm asking.
That energy hasn't disappeared, but at the same time, I'm not going to be delusional thinking that they're going to be taking over the wrestling world.
Where did that
be delusional when it first happened?
Where did that BDE go, man?
Right.
We all know where WWE stands. You're not competing with
you were this way when they first premiered.
And guess what, Mac? Guess what? If they somehow beat them in ratings, if they somehow beat WWE in ratings, do you know what that's going to matter? Nothing. You want to know why? Because WWE doesn't give a shit about ratings anymore. They're beyond that. They have their own fucking section of Peacock. They pump out shitty movie after shitty movie just because they still somehow make money off of it.
Yeah, because you know why EA Sports doesn't care about Madden? Because there's no competition.
No, it's because they know that they're just going to get money off of Madden Ultimate Team.
Yeah,
they don't give a shit about the quality. They know you're going to buy it. They know you're going to buy all the DLC. And even if you don't buy it, the people that do buy it are going to be spending so much in microtransactions, it's going to make up for the people who fucking walked away.
Well, that's why after every pay-per-view, they know some kid's father is going to get your T-shirts, buy one, get the second for $1. They know they're going to do numbers after that. So for the fact that there could be competition coming down the pipe, and it could mean something for EA or, in this case, WWE to step it up. That should be a good thing. They don't have to.
WWE makes so much money hand over fist for doing absolutely nothing that they don't have to be creative.
Right. And my point is, if AEW is a company that's going to make them do something, then that should be AEW's responsibility to say, you know what? Balls on the table.
WWE's ratings have been dropping for years. For years. Still, they got $1 billion out of Peacock.
You just gotta give Miro a few more months with the championship, and then they'll have a little bit bigger leg to stand on.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Swervy, finish my sentence for me, big dog. If you could, please pause. Y'all weirdos out there. Scare money don't do what, man?
Don't make no money.
Come on.
Moving on.
Let's. Because I thought that's what this shit was all for.
Evilise, hey, look, you're fine doing that, but at the end of the day, like, you're not making WWE money. You don't have the means to make WWE money.
I understand where you're coming from, Drew, but my thing is, where is the competition?
There is no fucking competition. They're in a league of their own. It's kind of like when the XFL starts up. You know they're not competing with NFL. Even if their football's better, even if their rules are better, they're not fucking competing with the NFL because the NFL makes billions of dollars just by fucking saying hello because they get all their TV deals and TV rights. They don't have to give a fuck.
So right now, who's the number 2 wrestling promotion in the U.S.?
In the U.S., it's AEW.
At what point are you going to be saying, all right, enough of this sideshow, let's go after the big boys? When are you saying it?
Okay, so once again, though, how are you going to go after the big boys? Tell me how you're going to do that when you don't have your own streaming service, which, by the way, they are trying to look into that. That's why they've been doing so many shows like Dark whatever, so that they can get content.
They should do something with YouTube TV or something. I don't know. But I mean, it sounds like they're trying to get things in place.
So here's the problem with YouTube TV, though. YouTube has so many restrictions that as soon as you have any blood at all, you get demonetized. They probably do have their videos monetized, and they probably are making money off of that. But at the same time, you're not making WWE money. WWE re-ups their TV deal and gets $1 billion fucking dollars. You're not competing with that. You can't.
Listen, Drew, I understand that. But at some point, you have to start somewhere. Hey, go sign a deal with Triller. Go be on there.
Yeah, you can start somewhere. But here's the thing. You don't start on the final fucking boss. You don't start on Monday night going head-to-head live with your only fucking live show. If you want to compete with SmackDown. Compete on Friday nights.
SmackDown's the number 1 show, though, bro.
It's not the number 1 show. Raw is always the number 1 show.
Go look it up.
Okay, pal.
You want to call me pal, you're wrong. Go look it up. They are the number 1 show.
They're not.
Okay.
SmackDown will never be the number 1 show. They could have as much talent as they want, but at the end of the day, Vince is going to care more about Raw than SmackDown. That's 110%.
Listen, man, I know you banging and shit, and I know you know what I'm saying, you a 5 all day up and down. I don't know if you got something against the color blue, but SmackDown is definitely the number 1 show.
All right, well,
from production to what's going on storyline wise to advertisers to money, it is definitely the number 1 show. Viewership.
If you say so.
All right. Let's move on, man, because you are swimming in a body of water in Africa right now.
So WWE is planning on reverting back to 1 night for WrestleMania 38. So it's looking like 2 nights of WrestleMania is officially dead.
Thank God.
Also, it looks like they've mapped out the next WWE event that will have a live attendance. And it will be Money in the Bank.
SummerSlam. Ooh, next month? June?
Yep. They're hoping that it's Money in the Bank. The only chance that it won't be Money in the Bank is if they decide to change the schedules and put Hell in a Cell first.
Oh, no, wait. So Hell in a Cell is first because that is the next pay-per-view.
So they're thinking about possibly doing Hell in a Cell, but for right now, they're more keen on Money in the Bank being live attendance.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very disappointed that the Monday after Mania was not in front of a crowd. That was a big letdown for me.
Well, I mean, it was a shitty show.
I mean, dude, it could have been a real good show and still no fans were there. That sucked, but for it to be shitty and no fans, that really sucked.
So you may have noticed Bray Wyatt has been off TV since WrestleMania. He
Another
did
baby?
What's that?
Another baby?
No. So he has been off TV for mental health issues. Apparently he's still, well, this is all rumor, of course. He still has not gone over fully the death of Brody Lee. He's been in a bad place. He came back for WrestleMania, took the quick loss, and went home immediately. It looks like he has just really just not gotten over it. So we're wishing the best for him not to, pull a Benoit.
Oh. We had no Pyro wish him a recovery, and whenever he feels ready to come back, please do, but take as long as he needs.
It looks like The Miz was legit injured during his zombie lumberjack match. They're saying torn ACL.
Oh man.
So they were really just going on the fly with this Alexa stuff. Okay, makes sense now. Miz has an injury during the zombie. Did he get attacked? He get bit? What happened?
It looks like the injury is suspected to have occurred when Priest landed on Miz's legs after he performed that spinning kick off the top rope. It's looking like he could miss up to 7 to 9 months.
Well, I was about ready for a Miz break anyway. I don't know about y'all, but
You mean like a break of his leg? Is that what you're saying?
no, a break away from TV.
Okay, I just want to be clear. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Y'all know this is my guy, but yeah, I feel like that man has been wrestling every week since baby number 1 was announced as delivered, and yeah, it's time for a break. But at that age, that's kind of worrisome.
Lastly, have you ever heard the old expression, do not shit where you eat?
I heard that the other day.
For those of you who have not heard this expression.
But you could do it when you work from home. Go ahead. I'm just saying.
For those of you who have not heard the expression, what it normally means is don't go into business with family or friends. And there's a
I thought it meant don't screw your coworkers.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, never mind.
No.
I heard that, Drew.
So, a group of wrestlers may be finding this out the hard way. And these wrestlers are the EVPs of AEW. Apparently, there is legit heat between Cody Rhodes and the rest of the EVPs.
We gonna get a handicap match with them later on?
No, I guess it's to a point where, like, allegedly they are having just like nasty text bouts where they just don't talk to each other.
How many of the EVPs are there?
Well, there's Cody, there's both the Young Bucks, and there's Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah, you can't fight though. Kenny got all the belts.
You know, it just
He's in a bit of a pickle.
There are people saying that, you know, because of the fact that Cody has these illusions that he basically is like his father, like Triple H, who, you know, hey, I just get to book the shows. Here, he kind of has to go through a committee. He has to go through the Young Bucks. He has to go through Kenny. He has to go through Tony Khan. And I think that that's something he doesn't always get along with, and has butted heads with a lot of them. People who watch Being the Elite will have noticed that he has not been on there in months at all. It was something that he was always a part of. He always made sure to get his FaceTime, and he has not been a part of any of those web series.
Well, he's getting ready to have a baby.
Yeah, but I mean, Brandy's at home. Like, I mean, they usually do it at work.
If too big for your britches was a person, it'll be Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, there's people in the company saying that, you know, you're not going to hear the company openly talk about it. even though they have said that, we've had disagreements. However, there is a rumor that there were a few very big names in WWE who were considering jumping, heard the rumors, and got cold feet. No word on who those people were, but you know how that rumor mill goes. Who knows if it's true, but it's something to discuss.
The rumor and innuendo.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Any story has some little bit of truth in it.
Stories do a lot of walking in these locker rooms, boy. Because they got some legs on them.
Telephone, telegram, wrestler. What do you want to do now? You want to do Raw?
You do Coke. You want to do that?
What's that?
Nothing. Yeah, let's jump into wait, we haven't even talked Dark Side of the Ring, have we?
Oh shit. Brian Pillman got a two-parter.
To open it up.
What did you guys think?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. I didn't think he maybe needed a two-parter, but I thought it was good. They definitely didn't get into too much of the mom being a piece of shit. Obviously,
I saw the pictures, like the befores, and I'm just like, what the hell happened to her?
Drugs. I still remember Brian Pillman Jr. on Steve Austin's podcast talking about they did a charity show when he first died for the kids' college tuition. And she ended up just giving all the money to her abusive boyfriend to buy a new truck.
Wow.
What a piece of work. Rest in peace to Brian Pillman. He seemed like a great guy. Obviously,
I just love how he was like the trailblazer for the contract and getting what you feel is what you rightfully deserve and upping that price.
He was definitely the type of guy who really laid down the groundwork of know your value.
Yeah.
Don't just accept what they're willing to give you. Unfortunately, his life was cut short because of heart disease. Could he have lived longer if he wasn't, popping pills, if he wasn't working so much on the road? Maybe. But, I mean, heart disease is heart disease. It's doubtful he'd probably still be here anyways because of heart disease, unless it was caught sooner.
Yeah, you never know. Who was there an episode after him?
Yes, Nick Gage. Who is he's the deathmatch guy. And he is the real fucking deal. Like, there's guys who are deathmatch guys who are like, yeah, I do death matches, but I just like to do them because they're fancy. And then you have Nick Gage, who's just an absolute fucking psychopath. Went to jail for 5 years. Dude's cutting people with pizza slicers without telling them ahead of time. Almost killed David Arquette. That kind of shit.
Is he dead too, or no?
He's still alive somehow.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, did they do a Dark Side of the Ring about anybody that's alive?
No, I believe he's still alive because he said he wants to do a death match with Kenny Omega, which I'm 100% sure that'll happen.
You said that
Moxley
it will happen?
What's that?
You said that it will happen?
Oh, I'm absolutely sure that'll happen. I'm totally nodding my head right now. Definitely not shaking it. It'll totally happen. They will totally let their cash cow get in the ring with the guy that almost cut off Jon Moxley's tongue. Totally. Yeah, so guy spent 5 years in prison for a bank robbery while he was a fucking wrestler. do battle homelessness and drug addiction, and just all around just
How do you battle homelessness?
by trying to get fucking money.
Yeah.
Hey, if you could fight it, he'll fight it. But yeah, viewer discretion advised on that one. For just the violence. Once again, pizza cutter in the mouth. Almost killing David Arquette. David Arquette, hey, I want to get back into wrestling. Okay, how about a death match? Oh yeah, no, that sounds good. Okay, we're gonna put you in the ring with Nick Gage. That'll be good.
Yeah, I saw Ambrose talking about that pizza shit with him on maybe a preview or something.
Yeah, Arquette got a cut on his neck that was very close to his artery. And I believe the quote from Nick Gage was, it wasn't spurting out, so he's fine.
The guy just wants to split up with someone's aorta. Go home and have a Hot Pocket and a Valentine. Do it all again next week.
All for $50.
Send them home happy.
And if you're really good, we'll give you a Quiznos gift card.
Oh shit. Yo, listen, don't judge me, y'all. I was gonna pick up some Domino's pizza. I was like, I want to try some Domino's, man.
I actually had some Domino's pasta during this podcast.
You was looking at those ads during WWE a little bit too heavy, huh?
Yeah. Pretty soon, Drew, your ass gonna need to be on the dark side of the podcast, eating that bullshit.
I already belong on the dark side of the podcast.
Oh, my bad, man. Proceed.
So yeah, that's those episodes. New episodes coming out this week. The biography episodes are really good. So far, I've seen the Roddy Piper one, Steve Austin's, Booker T's, and Shawn Michaels. And Savage's.
Who all is getting one?
I think Mick Foley's getting one, and I don't know who else. But basically, they run through their whole career. It's actually pretty solid how they get it all in. They try to fluff them up, except for Savage, as much as they can. But they do touch on a lot of the fucked up things each guy's done.
Did they talk about the blackface with Piper?
I think that they skipped over that. They did talk about his homelessness. The fact that, he didn't get along with his father. The fact that there was a lot of people who tried to molest him as a homeless person.
Yeah, well, hey.
That goes to the territory, huh, Mac?
Dirty Mike and the boys.
And then it was actually a priest who got him into pro wrestling.
Yeah, Piper's a piece of shit.
Why? Why is Piper a piece of shit? Let's go back.
Come on, man.
Why?
Do I need to tell you?
Yeah.
Then you must not be watching everything.
So tell me.
What did they skip over, Drew?
I mean, is that his idea?
You still did it.
Okay. Pan's face half black, half white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Piece of shit vibes.
Why is he a piece of shit for doing his job?
Let's go in the Raw, man.
Okay.
This makes no sense.
All right, so you got Raw pulled up?
Mm-mm.
Damn,
Do you want me to pull it up?
We don't even need to.
We don't have to go match by match because
Okay, so do you have anything pulled up for Raw so that we can at least go into it?
I don't got shit pulled up for Raw.
I can tell you, it started with, I think it started with Lashley and his hoes coming out. I want to say, yeah. You saw that picture I sent you in the group chat?
Mm-mm.
No, you didn't see that? Yeah, Lashley had some girls out this time. They were his sisters. A little bit better looking than that. Well, the ones that was in the back were. But
This man living on the high life.
listen, man, you know something's happening because they doing too much. They giving him too much all of a sudden.
Well, Shorty
But-
to his left is good. The one to his right,
The one that's in the back that you can't really see that well is the best looking one. But they came out talking about, he didn't want to MVP didn't want to wrestle, but he wanted to, because he say he's a fighting champion, he wanted to have an open challenge. So they came out and they were going to say it was going to be an open challenge. And then Drew McIntyre, of course, came out, and then, MVP said, wait, we said anybody except you and Braun Strowman. So they couldn't challenge for the belt. So they didn't really, they kind of left it alone after that. But all throughout the night, it would be like Damian Priest, I think, had a match, and he was like, well, maybe I'll challenge for the belt, but nobody thought he was going to do it. I can't remember what happened after that in sequence. I do know that Charlotte and Asuka wrestled each other again. It was actually a pretty good match. And Asuka won, but she never wins definitively, and they're going to keep that train going. It's always like some kind of roll-up or cradle. It's never just a pin or a submission. Like a flat-out pin or a submission. It's never like that. And it was, of course, I think Rhea Ripley was outside the ring, too. So there was some interference there.
Don't forget, we got main event Kofi back in the main event play picture against Randy Orton.
Yeah, main event. Not main event, but Kofi actually beat Randy Orton. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not even sure why they even did that match. It was Xavier was tooting the horn. I guess Randy Orton, is being as wily and as cunning and as old as a veteran as he is, still fell for the distraction. So he went to go after Xavier Woods, and Kofi rolled him up, and pinned him with the greatest, finisher of all time. So yeah, I was just like, I'm so tired of seeing these the way these people take L's here, but it is what it is. I think that Sheamus and what's his name?
Ricochet.
Yes, Sheamus and Ricochet. I think they had another encounter, and this time I think Ricochet was putting on Sheamus's clothes. Yeah, so that happened. I also want to say Drew Gulak and Angel Garza. I don't know what's going on with Angel Garza and Drew Gulak, but Angel Garza squashed Drew Gulak for some reason. Like, it was a straight up squash. Like he was Brock Lesnar or somebody. And then he shoved the rose up his mouth and he left. I don't know where that's leading. But poor Drew Gulak.
Probably nowhere.
Poor Drew Gulak. I think there was a women's tag team bout. I don't know if this is the right order, but I do know that Natalya and Tamina they successfully defended their tag team championships against Shayna and Nia Jax because of some kind of Kane-esque explosion from your girl Alexa Bliss. Were you going to say something?
No.
So, and then I don't know if I'm missing anything else after that, but Drew, if anybody, fill it in if I'm skipping ahead, but the open challenge came back about.
Yep, and a lot of people said they were going to do it, but
Yeah.
the only guy who actually answered it was Kofi.
Kofi came out to answer this open challenge, and it's not like I was expecting, like, you know what I'm saying, like a Brock Lesnar or somebody, but I was like,
Right.
And I hate to do that.
When he got to the
But
ring, though, MVP said that he never said that it was going to be for the title, so it was a non-title open challenge.
yeah.
So you
And
know
that
what
was
that
like-
means.
And that was like, I said, okay, they're gonna have a Hurricane and Rock moment. That's what I was,
Right.
that's what I was looking at. And it happened. So
Even though this Hurricane was a former WWE champion.
right. But you would never guess.
That's why I was pissed that the man got the championship in the first place. Because I knew what it was going to be.
Oh man, you could never guess that. That's how it was looking at it. But at least it wasn't. The very opening seconds of the match, Lashley gave him that big giant one-handed spine buster choke slam thing that he do, and I was like, damn, he about to get squashed
Again.
because truth be told, he shouldn't get up for that. Like that was laying Braun Strowman down. But they made it a match for, I don't know, I guess to fill time or whatever, and he had a little bit of offense in. But he went to, I think he went to grab, what was that thing? It was the cane, right? I think he went to go grab the cane from MVP, and Drew showed up and interfered, and Lashley got poked with the cane. So I guess that was enough. Better than the LED board. Kept him out long enough to get pinned 1, 2, 3. So there you go. I don't know where this is supposed to lead. If this is supposed to be a mini program for Drew, I mean not Drew, and Kofi and Lashley, or what? But I don't want to see it.
I think it'll be momentum for Kofi elsewhere. I don't think that it'll apply to this at all, because this was just McIntyre and Lashley. If McIntyre is not out there, Kofi's not winning.
Now, one thing I want to make a note of, and you tell me if you guys agree. When they mention that somebody hasn't been pinned in a very long time, which it happens to be Lashley in this case, even though he's transitioned from US to heavyweight belt. In my eyes, once you get pinned, that usually resets your dominance meter. What I mean by that is not that your strength goes down, but usually you go back on a tear where you start winning a lot of matches again. Do you think this will happen with Lashley? You take that embarrassing loss, and then you go back in. Yeah, you take that one little embarrassing loss on TV or Raw or whatever, and then you get back to winning like 9 pay-per-view matches in a row.
Yeah, he just show up next week without the divas on his arm. In the business. You could get Kofi and him a rematch next week, and then Kofi gets squashed.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, WWE's going to do that. I don't know about the squash part, but they're definitely going to have a rematch. I mean, because this is just what they do. But, yeah.
And we'll see. I want Lashley to remain the champion for a while. I don't want him and Drew to go back and forth, but that's what they're doing. And I mean, I don't know of a new challenger. So if they're making him look dominant, then by all means, please keep doing that.
Yeah, they are. And I think that, again, like I said, when you do this, you get this little loss here and there in between. I think it sort of resets that counter to where they can go back to being dominant for a bit without having to worry about taking a loss to your championship. So, I mean, losing your championship. I mean, so yeah.
Honestly, I don't even count this as a loss for him. Non-title shenanigans.
But yeah, nobody
mentally,
does. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Mentally, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, nobody thinks Hurricane can beat The Rock, but it happened, right? So,
So I mean, I guess maybe an add-on question to what you're saying is, what is it going to take for McIntyre and Lashley to be done?
Hopefully not much.
if he walks out of Hell in a Cell with his championship, Lashley, then I would think that him and Drew are done for a while. I've still, in the back of my mind, I'm still on record saying that as long as Drew leaves out of the Hell in a Cell, you know, protected, however you want to call that one,
Mm-hmm.
he can still go over to SmackDown and pick up unfinished business with Roman.
Mm.
From Survivor Series of last year.
Yeah, that's possible.
And
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I would much rather see that for Roman.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
But yeah, that was my off the dome Raw recap.
Okay, do we have anything else then?
Abby did not
Anything
think
from
he was,
Abby?
Abby didn't think he was having a show, so he didn't say anything.
Thanks, Abby. Um, no, yeah, I don't have anything. I'm good to go. Swerve, no chill.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Keep your
Well, with
podcast
that
game
being,
tight.
man, listen. Um, we're back. Pardon. Catch us next week where we preview the spectacle that is Double or Nothing Memorial Day weekend. This was fun. Hope you missed us, but we here. For No Chill Drew. For Swervy Lee. My name is Total Mac. This has been a No Pyro podcast production. And we are out this bitch like a newborn. Holla at us.